Good afternoon. I'm Ron Furlong, and we're here with Vaughn Martin, one of the four questions in the 2023 by-election for the position of councillor for the town of Amherst. Just to give you a sense of how this will play out, Mr. Martin will have the opportunity to speak for 5 minutes, introducing himself and his platform. Following that, we'll move to the questions which have been shared with all of the candidates as of Friday evening. The 10 questions provided to the candidates have been chosen from 3 sources. From those submitted to the public during previous Meet the Candidates events, they've been prepared by the Chamber of Commerce, or they've been submitted by the candidates themselves. Each candidate will be asked a total of 4 of those 10 questions, and the specific questions and order of asking has been drawn at random. They will have 2 minutes to answer each question. Following the questions, they'll have an additional 3 minutes to provide their closing comments for the interview. Now, having the small print out of the way, let's hear from Mr. Martin. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to turn the floor over to you to give us some sense of what this election is about for you.
Thanks, Ron. I appreciate having the opportunity to, first of all, represent the town of Amherst. And well, I guess first of all, I have to say before that, to be growing up and live in the town of Amherst all my life and raise a family here, it's quite a privilege to me. And it would be more of a privilege to be, I guess, recognized by the citizens here as a hard worker and try to, work hard and bring some business and, economic stability to Amherst. Amherst is a great place. I can't dream of anybody anywhere else. I'd have rather brought a family up or live, and lived in, and I just needs a boost. And I think what I could bring to the table for the citizens of Amherst and this area, I think it's what it needs. I'm a guy that's got a never say die attitude, never want to be, tell somebody that you can't be done or it won't be done or it's no good or, because without taking chances and without taking a few risks, Amherst will never be, what it can be. I mean, all around us, the places are growing, and it's all around us. And the only reason that I don't know why it's not here, I guess I don't have the reason why it's not here, and that's why I want to find out. I want to work with, provincial government. I want to work with the federal government. I want to know why, Amherst being such a great spot is being looked over for all this stuff. And and if it needs to be a guy that needs to pester the hell out of somebody, that's what I'm going to do. And because I've decided, a while ago, I came in Amherst, and I'm going to go out in Amherst, but I'd like to see Amherst left with, a few more things. Over my 59 years, I've seen things go, and that we had that were great and never come back. And I want to see that greatness come back. The things that we had, and work towards it. And if they say, well, that can't be done, well, why can't it be done, and why won't it be done? And and I'm going to say, see why it can't be done. And I want to work hard for that, and I want to work hard for Amherst, and I want the people of Amherst to give me a chance. Give Vaughn Martin a chance. And on February 11th, go out and vote. Before then, it's such a simple thing, to vote. And now it's so simple. If you haven't got your card, get there, get your card, call up town hall, talk to Kim Jones. She will get you a new card, and or a pin so you can vote. And I know it's simple for you to vote. And I'd like people to go out there and vote. Last election, only, oh God, what was it? Yeah, less than 50% voted. And, I don't know what I was more mad at, the people that, voted for Mayor Cogan or people that voted, didn't vote at all, I mean, and that's what we need, if you're going to show some interest. And as I've said online, people have fought hard for the vote. And it should, and even if you don't support Vaughn Martin, you should support your right to vote. And get out there, vote, you know what I mean, and show who you show your support for Amherst. show your support for the town that you lived in and or you came to, or you know, or you know, you appreciate, or you call your home, go out and have the vote, and it means a lot, and it would mean a lot to me, even if I, well, of course, if I won, it would be, if everybody went out and voted, it'd be great. But to this point, I think I looked online, and I think there's 1,200 people that have voted out of 7,760 some eligible voters. And I mean, that's not good enough. People have to vote. And I want to stress that. Vote for, go out, vote. And yes, I'd like it to be Vaughn Martin, vote Vaughn Martin, but if it's not, at least vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The first question that I have for you is local businesses report that as our population ages, many skilled workers are retiring. What do you see as the role of the town of Amherst in supporting our local businesses in finding skilled workers to replace those lost?
I'm all for supporting local business and everything. I run a small business myself, and I know it's hard to find people to work, just as, it's not an aging population here that compounds it. But what's the problem is after COVID, it's been too easy to get a check, and we get dependent on a check, and that's what's happened. And to get, I guess, to sum it up, to try to help somebody get situated, you have to do what everybody else's have to do. We have to look into where can we get people to come in and fill the void. Do we look at bringing in people, like immigrants and stuff like that? Do we bring people that like a place like war-torn Ukraine? Do we bring look at that source? But we have to, we can't have children that quick to get it back up, but we have to look at those areas to try to see what is the best and what has worked in other areas. I mean, you have to look that we're not the first place to go through this. So what has worked in other areas, and what do they suggest? Thank you.
Thank you. Along those same lines, outmigration is one of the biggest hits to our economy, with youth, families, and skilled people leaving our local area to obtain higher paid jobs in other parts of Canada. How would you address the need for a newcomer recruitment strategy to improve employment and retention rates for businesses, and how to stabilize the tax base?
That's all right. I know what you're talking about. Well, first of all, one thing that we got to do is take advantage of stuff that we have and exploit that we have, and stop having the biggest thing about attracting business is green energy. Everybody wants green energy. We got green energy all around us, but it doesn't help Amherst none. And that's shocking to me. The only thing that's helped Amherst is the natural gas as one of the, we got the three green energies around: wind and sun and gas. And the only one that we seem to get, and we don't even really get a benefit from that, same price goes to the end of the pipeline that comes out of the pipeline. I mean, so I just don't know why we haven't taken advantage of it. And I blame, local, well, I guess neglect and provincial neglect. I mean, if you got something in your backyard, I mean, you should be able to hook onto it. Or, Amherst should have, invested in getting one of the windmills, or putting into, or with Cumberland, or investing in the solar panels. Now we got solar energy, and all we're getting is a rent from the industrial park that that could have done a business. You could have put a business there that it would have employed 100 or 2 people. I mean, but anyway, that's what I see. We have to invest in our green energy and that strategy, and that's what business wants. That's, other than the area that we already have, that we want to, improve on it, then we have to have what we have. Thank you.
Thank you. What do you see as needing the attention of the town of Amherst? And if elected to council, how would you take that on?
What was that now? Pardon, I didn't get that.
What would you see as needing the attention of the town of Amherst? And if elected to council, how would you take that on?
Well, biggest things that need attention is anything that you go into that's failing or not working as good as it should, or you got to look at what do we need. Our downtown is failing, like you say, and we haven't be able to attract business downtown. Is it our tax rate? Is our tax rate too heavy for business? Do we have to adjust so we can get business downtown, to attract that business? Do we have to put infrastructure in for business? That's something that you got to look at. I know when I see these places growing up all around us, going to Moncton and going to Shediac, going, that way, and even up as far as Bucktush, all them small little places are all growing up, twice what they are, and Amherst has stayed pat. So I think for growth, you have to attract growth. If people are looking to come to Amherst, you have to have things that, are attractive at Amherst. People that I've talked to that are here, that come here, one of the main things is, we're supposed to have the best water going, and it's so chlorine that people don't drink it. They get there and say, oh, we won't drink the water here, and I don't want to drink it half the time either, and that's something that we got to address. If we got to keep that stuff up to snuff. And if we got good drinking water and it's supposed to be, the best water this side of, the Rockies or whatever, we should have that, and we should keep abreast on it. And if we need new chlorination systems or new things like that, we got to exploit what we have. And we do have things, but we have to exploit it and keep it good. Thank you.
Thank you. The fourth and final question I have for you is, since the start of the pandemic, our area has experienced a large influx of families and couples moving to Amherst. What is the role of the town and Amherst in encouraging these newcomers to stay and make Amherst their permanent home?
Thank you for that question, because that's one right up my alley. I've heard, from so many people about that. I mean, I've heard from couples that have bought houses here and then they moved to Moncton because there was nothing here in Amherst for them. Well, first of all, we got to have affordable housing for people, and and accessibility. I mean, we can't even assess accessibility to our hospital. That makes me nervous all the time driving from our hospital, coming through that way when I'm hauling a trailer and I see somebody on the side of the road walking, or one of them electric chairs or whatever. And it's not good. I mean, and it's probably going to have to take for somebody to die to get, something done with it. And I don't want to see that. And it should have been done a long time ago. But stuff like that has to be addressed. We have to bring stuff in, activities for seniors, activities for youth. We have to have an activity center. There's no reason. I talked to Bill Mills, the mayor, down in Truro, and I asked him when they got the new rink years ago, what they did. And he said, well, we put in a strategy, Vaughn, to look at a plan to invest our money in the future. And they, as you see, they got a big dome out inside. If you've been to Truro, they got a big indoor facility that they practice stuff like baseball, tennis, and everything indoors beside the old rink. And now they got the new rink that they host, curling events, and the Pinties, and the women's hockey, the World Juniors, they put themselves on a world stage. And no, we're not going to get there overnight, but they put themselves on a plan. And that's what Amherst will have to do. We'll have to sit down, put on a strategy. Where are we going to invest our money and make an investment in the future? And that's what Amherst has to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would invite you now to give us a summary of what you want us to take away from this interview.
Well, the biggest thing right up front, I want people to understand, I'm only one person, and I'm only going to work and do what I say. I'm not going to be like the politicians before me. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I can fix all this. Yes, I have ideas. I have, ability and a lot of stuff, but I just want people to know working hard is my asset. and know that I'm going to be a hard worker, and I'm going to work hard for Amherst, because I want to see Amherst come back to what I known as a child. And it's too late for my children, but I don't think it should be too late for my children's children to experience growing up in Amherst with the things we had. And, because if we let it go much longer, it's going to go, well, it's going south now, but it's not going to ever get back up to north again, because things don't go, if you're going down the same road, you're going to get to the same place. And I just want to change lanes and know people that I'm going to change lanes, and I want Amherst to start going down a different road. And that's what I want to work for. And if I'm by myself when I go there and I get to council, then the people of Amherst are going to know, because they're going to have one man in there that's going to be for the people of Amherst. And I stand alone. I stand alone for Amherst. And if that's what I do, that's what I do, and that's what I will do. And that's what I want people to do, to know when they vote. Get out there and vote. And if you don't like what I'm bringing to the table, then you vote for your other candidate and let him go and see what they can do. And the best of luck on to my other candidates. And I guess I'll end up with God bless Amherst. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martin.
Yeah.
And that draws to an end for this interview, and wish you the best of luck, as I do all the candidates.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ross.
Okay.